All right, let's talk about Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings being able to pull off a big victory. The final game of the season will determine who gets the 1 seed between them and the Detroit Lions, so that should be fun. But let's talk about what Darnold was able to do so well and what the Vikings were able to do so well. First, this is just a good team play, although also not great defense by Green Bay. It's a zone coverage play that the Packers are in. You see that route over there. That's actually a route that often can get open on this play. These more over-the-middle routes, oftentimes the corner in that area will come in and cover him. But you also have Jalen Naylor running a deep shot. Usually this just takes away the safety. That's kind of the main role of a route like this. So, usually, kind of traditionally, this isn't what you have your number 1 or number 2 receiver run. This is what you have your slot receiver run just to try and set things up. Well, when this play begins, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. The safety does not cover Naylor, and Darnold, to his credit, reads that. And because sometimes you don't read that and make the wrong throw anyway. But here, Darnold is reading the play correctly, notices that Naylor is wide open. As you see, he is able to make a beautiful throw. Great catch by Naylor. Well, not a great catch by Naylor. I mean, a fine catch. It was right in his hands, but a great route by him and good concept by the Vikings. And, also, Packers got to defend that better. That's also true. But, heading over here, I thought Darnold was doing a good job of just reading what the Packers were doing and knowing how to take advantage. This play is a great example. It's a 3rd down and 7 on this one. It's zone coverage that the Packers are in, but it's not just a traditional zone coverage play. Watch those 2 Green Bay players. One's lined up as a linebacker, the other as a defensive lineman. Watch how when this play begins, look at that guy right there. He's dropped back into coverage. The guy who is lined up as a linebacker is rushing the passer. So it's still just a 4-man rush, but you're doing this to hopefully get a straight shot to the quarterback. It didn't work out though, and here's the issue. You see how far in this player, who's now essentially the middle linebacker on this play, is. He's only a couple yards past the line of scrimmage, despite the fact that it's a 3rd down and 7. Meanwhile, over there, it's once again Jalen Naylor, who is going to be the guy going over the middle. Darnold realizes that he has an opportunity here. Watch him just, he reads the play, attacks that zone, and they're able to pick up a big gain on that one. So again, it's these, you could sit here and say it's mistakes by Green Bay, but this is an intentional decision Green Bay is making that the Vikings are kind of just taking advantage. This play is another interesting one where what's going to happen on this play is it's a zone coverage concept. You see the concept on the screen for the Vikings. Usually that more over-the-middle route is the one that gets open. However, when Darnold takes a snap, he actually looks on the other side of the field. But right here, this is Jordan Addison, and he's doing something interesting. So, again, his route is mostly a setup route, but the point that it was supposed to set up is over at this point, and Addison's looking at Darnold, sees that Darnold is not looking in his direction, so he says, well, wait a second, the corner of the end zone is open, why don't I just run there? That's what he does. To the Packers, number 20 for the Packers' credit, he reads it well and honestly plays it pretty well, but that's just a great throw from Sam Darnold, isn't it? And that's kind of one thing you look at with Sam Darnold is this guy was drafted number 3rd overall for a reason. He has incredible arm talent, and this is an incredible throw. Heading over to this next play. So this is going to be a 2nd down and 11, and this was not a flawless game from Darnold. He had a couple of missed throws late in the game. This one was really his biggest mistake. It's going to be a 20-3 game, so you're up 17 midway through the 3rd quarter. It's quarters coverage that the Packers are playing, and you see the route that it's TJ Hawkinson is running on this play, and I'm going to just assume that Darnold maybe just misread this coverage. Because watch how when this play begins, you see right here, this would have been open if there wasn't a defensive back right in front ready to get the interception. I'm assuming he thought it was maybe a cover 3, but because of the fact that there are multiple defensive backs deep there, Darnold just doesn't read the coverage. It ultimately gets intercepted, and that's a big mistake. The Packers were able to turn it into a touchdown. Now, granted, the Vikings did answer for a touchdown of their own, but still, you would have liked to not have to do that at all, and you could have scored a touchdown to make it a 4-score game instead of having to score a touchdown to make it a 3-score game again, because, of course, Green Bay did start to come back. There was also just some plays like this, which the Vikings have been good at all year, which is it's going to be, again, a zone coverage concept that the Packers are in, and then the Vikings are going to run play action. Jordan Addison is going more over the middle here. As you see when this play begins, there's a setup route to help this get open. Also, the play action, of course, helps. And you see right here, Addison winning the one-on-one matchup against the corner here. Definitely a window. Darnold as well, makes a really accurate throw. They're able to pick up a nice chunk play. So that was a lot of it, right? Just doing the simple stuff, being able to run an offense effectively. These are important plays to make, and the Vikings were making them at a pretty high level. But then there were some plays like this, which are still similar enough. It's still going to be a zone coverage concept. You have Jefferson going more over the middle. You do have a setup route to try and draw a linebacker more over the middle. However, when this play begins, this is a much tighter window, right? I mean, you have a Green Bay player who's trying to run over and knock it away or even intercept it if it's not a great throw. I mean, it's a dangerous play, but Darnold is not afraid to play dangerously. He'll live in these areas. As you see, it's right on the money. Jefferson is able to make a big gain as well. So really good stuff by Minnesota to pull that off. Again, good stuff by Jefferson, but also good stuff by Darnold. I mean, that's a really high degree of difficulty throw. And that's one of the things that has impressed me the most this season with Darnold is just how consistently he makes these high degree of difficulty plays. And then this next one, which got called back due to penalties, so it didn't end up mattering, but it was a big play in the game. It's a 9-point game with 5 minutes left. Getting a first down here can help ice it. It's going to be man coverage that the Packers are in right here. It's actually a blitz. So because of that, when this play begins, you're going to see that, I mean, there's pressure here, right? I mean, this is a dangerous situation for Darnold if he's going to try and make this throw. But again, one of the things that he's done so well is I mean, he can make a throw while getting hit. Like that, I mean, obviously it affects every quarterback, but he can do it. Like, he's capable of making that work. As you see, a great throw and an unbelievable catch. That was a one-handed catch by Jefferson. Definitely a bummer that ends up getting called back just because it would have been cool highlight, right? But it's still a great play by Sam Darnold. Still a great play from Justin Jefferson. And this is just what they're capable of doing. So yeah, I mean, like, listen, you know, kind of what we all talked about with the Vikings, I felt early on this year, it's like, well, they have, you know, Darnold's playing well, they have a good team, you just hope that Darnold doesn't end up playing poor, you know, it doesn't turn into a pumpkin at any point, right? But really, I mean, down the stretch, they're not just winning with Darnold. They're in part winning because of him. He is a real factor, and if they're going to go on a run, it's going to be in part because of him. And right now, I'm not betting against them. So yeah, those are my thoughts on all of this. Sam Darnold. I mean, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought, given the way that it started, that he would be doing this well? What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.